Concentrate on the things you learn and obey His blessed command.
Greetings, grace and peace to you on behalf of the Heights. We want to let you know that we're praying for you, your family, and your concentric circle of concern during these times and seasons we live in. Matthew, the gospel writer, records something very vivid of what Jesus is telling his disciples. He says in the 16th chapter, and the verse is number 19, "I will give you the keys of the kingdom. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven." Again, he says, "I will give you the keys," that is the authority of the kingdom. "Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven." Matthew records these words because he is echoing what Jesus was telling them early on in this book, that they should pray the Lord's Prayer knowing that they have a certain amount of authority because they are a disciple of Jesus. And because they are disciples of Jesus, that means they can pronounce certain things that in heaven can be enacted as it is on earth. Certain things in our today's society we need to bind with our words, bind with our prayer, and bind with the grace that God has given us. There are some things and attacks and snares of the enemy that need to be bound at this moment. There are some things that are trying to destroy your family that need to be bound at this moment. There are some things that are trying to self-sabotage you that need to be bound at this moment. And you know what binding is when you put something together so it doesn't go out of place. And so you can make sure that that thing that is trying to seek your life is not getting the best and dominating you. Through the power of God, we have the assurance and the promises of God that whatever we as the disciples pray to God on behalf of ourselves and others for, we have that assurance that it will surely come to pass. You will read in the Bible that a lot of things came to pass. I believe that's there for a reason, that even though we see so much in our society, those things will truly come to pass. I mean, those things that are binding us in a way will come to pass once we exercise the authority that we have as disciples. How do we exercise this authority? Well, Jesus says, "I give you the keys to the kingdom." This key is symbolic of our faith in God, our connection with God through the person of Jesus. Jesus is the one who connects humanity and the divinity in heaven. We have someone who can unlock and loose us from any snare and any trap that Satan tries to throw our way. And so I want to ask you today, what are you asking God to loose in your life? What are you asking God to bind in your life? And what are you doing practically to make sure it's being done?